Hey, mamas, welcome to the podcast. As always, thank you for lending us your ear and being here for the convo. We love this community and we're so happy that you're here. Katie's back from mat leave. We're so
Woohoo!
happy. Second episode back. And today we just thought we'd do a little check in because, that we're both postpartum and, you know, surviving, maybe not thriving. Like I currently have a little person on my nipple arching her back as if
Mm,
she is being tortured by my
mm.
milk, which I think is a great segue into your up. Oh, can you
Ah,
hear
I heard it.
She's also ripping ass, by the way. So she is farting where she eats. But Katie, how's it going with little Emma? How old is she now? We're almost a month out.
Yeah, so we are a month out,
Month
and
out.
I was thinking about what I wanted to say today because it's been struggle city over here. And I asked Jason, how honest should I be? And he said, someone asked what they could do to help us, and he replied, do you have a time machine or a condom?
Mm, mhm, mhm.
So
So that's
that
where we're at.
that's where we're at. And I was talking to my mom, not talking, crying to my mom last night. And she said, you love your baby, but you don't have to like your baby right
Fair.
now.
Oh
And
yeah.
that is where I'm at. And then I also debated, like, what if my daughter listens to this one day? And Jason was like, no, she'll know that we didn't like her as a baby because we're going to be honest with her about how hard she was. So, all that to say, it has been rough. She is super colicky, very opposite of Kaya. I know that when we had um, the girls from mom group chat on, we talked about trick babies.
Yeah.
And truly, Kaya is the trickiest trickster of trick babies.
She was
Because
a perfect baby and tricked you into having more.
literally a perfect child and made it like I don't think we understood how just so easy we had it with her.
Mhm.
And Emma is, yeah, she's colicky. We think we went to the pediatrician yesterday. Well, we went to the pediatrician for Kaya, but also for Emma's 1 month because Kaya was sick. I thought I went down a rabbit hole as I do. I thought she had West Nile.
Yeah. You texted me that and I was like, okay, okay. Well, that's serious.
Mm, Not West Nile,
Great.
like roseola or something, no longer even
Yes.
contagious. It's
Okay,
just
good.
like something that a lot of kids get.
Yep.
She's now fine and back to her chipper self. Anyways, we were there for Emma as well, and I was like, she keeps getting this like rash all over her face. The doctor is like, I think it's baby, eczema, acne, but it's like so red that I think she potentially has an allergy to like cow's milk protein, which obviously when you're breastfeeding, everything you're eating transfers to the baby, and I like dairy. I love a string cheese. I love cottage cheese. I love all the cheeses. Like feed me all the cheeses and then some more cheese.
Cheese on cheese.
So apparently she's potentially allergic to it. So last night when I tell you, well, okay, let me rewind. So he's like, what did she just eat? I'm like, my breast milk. I'm like literally pumping to feed. So he's like, yeah, we need to try some processes of elimination. He's like, I'm going to give you this like hypoallergenic formula. The next bottle, give it to her and let's see what happens. We gave it to her like 2 hours later. When I tell you she never stopped crying from that moment until midnight last night, I
Mm,
texted you because we were supposed to record last night and I just
yeah.
said, I can't do it.
I know.
I was crying. Jason was ready to like use all of our savings to hire daytime on rotation nurses. He was like,
Oh,
our marriage can't survive this. Like, we want to kill each other. We are just so frustrated. It's like so hard. I don't think you understand what it's like to have a baby screaming at you for like 7 to 8 hours without knowing like how to fix it.
yeah.
Like, there's no solution in sight. Like, her diaper is clean. We're trying to feed her. She's overly tired, but she won't sleep. Like, there's with Kaya, like, we understood all of her cues. this is just like you're just screaming your head off to scream your head off right now, and we can't fix it.
Yeah.
So that was rough. So the reason actually right now that I'm in our room and, in sweats, because I live in sweats these days, is
Preach.
because we called Jason's mom, who is a nurse, and she is here now. She's like, I'm coming tomorrow. The lady is heaven sent angel.
Oh,
So she is
let's hear
here.
it from Mama Mork.
Truly a godsend. I
Oh,
am so lucky to have a mother-in-law as wonderful as her. She's a nurse and she spoke to one of the formula reps, and we got another hypoallergenic formula to try and see if that would help because so I've cut out dairy today, but it takes weeks to get all the dairy out of me and we need like a quick solution. My plan was like to continue like giving her breast milk for X amount of time. But anyways, she brought over like this hypoallergenic formula. She just gave it to Emma, and Emma did not squirm, did not cry, did not fuss, did not turn bright red. And so I think that was potentially a solution. Mamas out there who have dealt with like a colicky baby or B, a baby with a cow protein allergy, like I see you, I'm with you. Please let me know what your experience is were like, any solutions that you found. This seems to be working for the time being, although she usually gets like very upset, like during witching hour, which is like 4 or 5 o'clock all the way until midnight. So we'll see what happens, you know, in a couple hours. We'll see just how magical Mama Mork is.
I'm actually crossing my toes and you can't see it, but I am like all appendages crossed for you. I
Mm,
hope it works. I know my sister has a really good friend who her baby was also allergic to milk. So, here's the thing. If you end up having to do formula instead of breast milk, I know it wasn't your expectation. There's some disappointment in that, but silver linings. You can eat all the milk you want. Silver lining, you can get Botox. Silver lining, you know,
You don't have to pump anymore and your nipples won't be sore anymore and
preach.
large. Like there's a lot of benefits. All you want is like a fed baby at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I I just want her to be like happy and healthy, and if this is the route we have to go, this is the route we have to go. I ended up switching Kaya to formula like after 4 or 5 months, whatever it was. So,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
no big deal. It's
No.
society's pressure to like breastfeed our kids is so unfair. We're going through enough as it is. And if you're able to do it, that's a beautiful, wonderful thing. But is it a necessity? Absolutely not. Like
No.
we just need our babies happy and healthy and whatever route that is. And we also need our moms to be happy and healthy.
I'm so
You
glad you
know?
said that because I was also talking to my sister-in-law who went through like a similar situation with my both my niece and my nephew, so her two kids, and she was like, "We just have to do what we have to do to
Yeah.
be like the best version of ourselves, to make our babies happy." But it's so important, like you said, like we need oxygen masks too, and when we're hysterically crying at 1 in the morning, that's like not our best self. And when we're continuously sitting in a rocking chair, because that's the only way to calm your baby down for like 4 hours on end and going slightly insane because you can't look at Instagram for another second.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we need
Yeah.
mental health prioritization for sure for all the mamas out there.
Yes.
So it's
I
been rough.
remember I'm so sorry. I am so sorry because I know it's hard enough being sleep deprived. It's hard enough just being postpartum, but then when you add in a colicky baby or a baby who's just, having a hard time and you don't know the answer, it's like you're not even in your rational state of mind. Like you can't even deal with it like a normal sane person because it's your spawn. You want them to be well and you want them to be happy, and when you aren't your full self, it's just
Yeah.
impossible. I remember Dylan, Andrew used to have to walk her up and down our hall, and sometimes he was walking her up and down the hall for like an hour and a half, just holding her, and it's like it's hard. Like, I don't know who out there we all have our challenges and you will
Yeah.
get through this. And
And
one day, I think you will laugh about it.
I can't wait for that day because this is a hard, hard, hard season. And it's like you want to enjoy the newborn stage, but
Yeah.
I am just somebody who already did not like love the newborn stage with Kaya. Like, I love the older she gets and the more she can communicate and like walk
Yeah.
around and show me her personality, the more I feel like connected to her, as weird as
Hmm.
that sounds. And now it's like I really don't like the newborn phase. And I know so many people do, and they like all those newborn snuggles. And guess what? I liked it for the first 2 weeks when she wasn't screaming her head off
Yeah.
for the majority of the time I was with her, which is
Yeah.
like all day long.
I actually would love to do a poll online to see, do you prefer, like, do you love the newborn stage or do you hate it? Because I do think it is very polarizing. I wouldn't say I love it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I like the first week, like give me the newborn snuggles. I'm such like in a delirious state from the lack of sleep. Maybe that's what it is because you're up like feeding constantly and you're getting into like this new
Yeah.
rhythm of life. And oh, they're so cute and they sound like a baby pterodactyl and they're like,
Yeah.
and it's like they
Trying to
have
find
these
your
little
nipple.
hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's cute, but then as soon as they start just screaming, 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 and you feel like all you are is like either a source of like food to them, and like you get no smiles back, you get no reaction. They're just like these tiny little blobs. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
prefer like 6 months and up.
Yeah. I get that. For me, like the sweet spot, I've got to say, one I loved because Dylan started saying words and she started walking, and there was a lot of like reciprocation. I love two.
Oh, that gives me hope.
Two is everything because they are like full-fledged little people.
Yeah.
They're like a little unhinged and wild. And it's just, to me, it's so fun. Like that season of parenting is like, it's messy. Like the house is always a mess. They're always a mess. Like she constantly has her finger in her nose or is like touching gross stuff she shouldn't touch. But it's just like, they're so sweet and just like run terrible twos. I just don't think is, I keep hearing that threes. I've heard there's three-nager where they're like
Ooh,
little assholes. And then
that
I've heard fucking fours. So I've actually heard threes and fours are harder, but let me just say I love two. I love two.
I love that you're redefining, like, terrible twos right now.
Yeah,
Terrific
I
twos.
and
Let's do it.
the more people I talk to, they agree like twos actually aren't so bad. They're actually like pretty magical. Like this is my favorite season of Dylan by far.
I
So,
can't wait. We have
yeah,
quite a ways, until 2 for both of our girls.
I know.
Like, this is not even 2 under 2, this is 2 under 15 months.
Yeah, this was a back-to-back situation.
I thought you were gonna say this was a bad idea.
Time machine and condom. But I'm so glad you decided to be honest about it and not like hold back because
Mm,
honestly, what mom doesn't feel this way at some point? Like, I have a girlfriend, one of my best girlfriends. I remember her telling me the first week they brought their firstborn home, she was breaking down and she said to her husband, like, why did we do this? Why did we ruin our life? We had a beautiful thing going. And she was just like completely melting down. And I think that that experience is so common.
mhm.
And sure, it's not like picture perfect. It's kind of an ugly side of things. But I think the more we talk about it,
The
the
better.
better we are
I
because
know.
it's just you feel less shame and guilt for feeling that way. And I think we all have a moment in
I'm
our
so
parenting journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
sick of all the people, like, pretending that they have these, like, super happy go lucky, happy dory family, like, pictures all the time because we know that's not the truth. Like,
No.
show me a family with perfect, perfect children, and I'll show you a liar.
Yeah, right, right. Inauthentic. We don't buy
Not
what you are
Yeah,
selling.
hashtag not real.
Not relatable.
So, although
Don't relate.
my mom last night did say, she was like, "Did you think you were gonna have, like, just a perfect easy go at this?" And I said, "Well, yes." I said, "Kaya was a dream." Like,
Mhm.
sure, she messed things up, like, in terms of, like, sleep and all that for a few months, but who cares? That's just part of having a child.
Yeah.
This is, you know, I think I called her a psychopath at one point.
You said psychotic in the text to
Like,
me with a skull face. I knew you were feeling it. I was like, do what you got to do. Take your space,
so
exhale. I
anyway,
know.
that was
It's going to get better. It just will. I will tell
don't
you,
yeah.
I'm a little bit ahead of you with Collins. So what I'll say you, what's coming soon are those first smiles.
Mm,
Collins now laughs. And there's something about those things that kind of levels out. Like it helps you get through all the screaming and the crying and the chaos. And it's like, okay, we're becoming more than just a little ball of mush. You're like kind of giving me something back here. So that's very soon. She's 3 months. So it's coming.
how would you describe life right now? I mean, you do have 2
Mhm.
2 and under,
Yeah.
we'll say.
We missed the 202 by 3 days.
Yeah,
We were very close.
just surpassed it.
Yeah. You know what? I'll say this, we're getting our rhythm.
Mm,
Like Andrew was kind of, he has since apologized, but he kind of was like, you're being really intense because every single night I was like, okay, I was texting him, like, here's the order of events for bedtime. Like, and I was adjusting, like, it was almost like I was workshopping our bedtime routine because we had such a well oiled machine with Dylan.
mhm,
And you introduce another little person who needs a nighttime routine, and everything just falls apart.
yeah,
And like you think you figured it out, but then Dylan stops eating her dinner because she wants to watch and help take a bath. So the whole thing falls apart. So it's like I just kept every night I was adjusting little things here and there to try and make the process a little more seamless. And he was like kind of rolling his eyes and laughing at me in like a what he thought was
mhm,
cutesy jokey. And I was like, no, because do you know what's happening while you're sleeping? I am up feeding the baby on my phone, workshopping how we can do it better.
mhm,
And then we finally had like a really nice groove and like a night where everything kind of worked. And he was like, you're right. Like you were right. What we were doing wasn't working. You made little adjustments every night. And now like that was perfect. And I was like, thank you. This I saw some meme that was like when you it was a video of a mom on the phone on the couch and it said when you see a mom doing this,
mhm,
here's what she's actually doing.
mhm.
And it was like meal planning, researching the best formula,
On Reddit
study
threads trying to, like, understand what's causing,
yes.
like,
There's
XYZ colic, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we're like joyfully scrolling Instagram or like shopping for some bullshit for ourselves. No, we're like actually holding the family together and doing all the research and doing all the planning and like so I feel like to answer your question, we've kind of found our groove. Collins, I will say, Dylan, I'm sorry because you're going to probably hear this one day, but Collins is an easier baby than Dylan
Mhm.
was. So it's a little bit of the reverse of what you had.
Yeah,
I think we were kinda, like, bracing for
impact.
Dylan part 2. Yeah. But Dylan, as she has grown up and aged and as she speaks in full sentences now, which is, like, just it happens overnight, which is the crazy thing. But as she has become more verbal and, like, can really self-express, like, she has just settled into herself and is so fun. Like I was saying, 2 is just the best. 2 and on has been so great. So I think, you know, just know it gets easier. Dylan was pretty tough, you know, she was pretty tough. And it's just, it gets better.
Oh, let
Something
that
else
be
will
the
come up, I'm
message.
sure. But right
Always.
now, oh
I was
my,
just gonna say when you were talking about like fine tuning the nighttime routine and the schedules, like the mother mental load is such a real thing because our brains are constantly trying to figure out, okay, if I put her to bed at this time, or what does she need to eat at this time? And if I give her this for lunch, what am I going to give her for dinner? And wait, but did she have enough like veggies and fruits like during a snack? And also,
What
do I need
has
a
how long
pump
has she
right
been
now?
awake? Yeah.
Yeah. Do I need a pump? Oh, wait, it's her nap time. Oh, wait, she needs
Mhm.
a diaper change. Oh, wait, I have to wash all the pump parts. I have to wash all the bottle parts. Oh, wait, but Kaya's getting too old for a bottle. So now I need to figure out which sippy cups I'm going to use for her. Like,
Yeah.
it just never stops. Like, our brains are on overdrive that by the end of the night, I can't remember half the shit I did that day
Mm-mm.
because
No.
I, I don't even know like what day of the week it is today.
Mhm.
But I'm also just so tired because you're just
Yeah.
thinking of every possible thing. And then my Amazon cart is like, oh, baby gas drops and probiotics. But then I also need these silicone forks and spoons because you don't want anything too sharp. But she also needs to be using the forks and the spoons, and you don't want it to have plastics in it. Like it is,
Yeah.
my brain hurts. So
Hurts so bad. It hurts
I'm
so
tired.
bad. And I saw something about how when we're pregnant, our brain shrinks and it takes 6 months for it to return to its normal size. I
Mm,
cannot tell you the amount of things I say in a day that I don't even realize are wrong. That
mm,
like my mom will look at me like, "Are you okay?
mm.
Did you just stroke out?" Like, or like Andrew will be like, "What you just said made no sense." Like, I'm like, "Do I need to see a doctor?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just postpartum and I'm a mom and I'm so tired."
Like we're,
And now Dylan has started pre-K. You add in the mix, and I'm a room mom. I volunteered to be a room
of
mom.
course you are.
Of course, I feel like this is where I'll shine. The room mom. I'm ready to do it. But you add into the mix, like, okay, I need to bring the snacks for the open house. And like there's all these things. And don't get me wrong, it's a blessing and I'm excited and I volunteered for it. But it's like, we just take on a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a mom thing. I don't see men doing that, and I don't know what the difference is instinctually or internally that we always are the ones who are thinking about,
Mhm.
"Okay, Dylan outgrew those pants. I need to start getting her some new clothes," or like, "Okay,
Shoes.
yeah,
I know.
developmentally, Dylan's supposed to be drinking out of a cup. Like, okay, now, like you were saying, like now it's time to use an open cup." Like, I think men aren't, they just kind of rely, and I won't say all men, let's be fair, but I think a lot of women will say that that responsibility falls on us to just like know the milestones, know what they're supposed to be doing, and do the things that we're supposed to do to help aid them in their
Yeah.
development. And, ugh, it's exhausting. It's like, when do I wash my vagina? When do I blow
When do I
dry my
wash my
hair?
hair? When do I wash my face? I literally didn't take a shower the past 2 days. And to be
I
fair,
know.
Jason didn't either, and he was like, Hygiene has gone out the window this week."
Yeah, like we were saying last week, marriage, this is an interesting season of marriage, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a sexy season. No, there is fun, but it is not like a, here's my hot body, let's have
No.
spontaneous sex, let's go on date nights. It's not that season
No.
of
It's
marriage. It's,
it's
oh, help me clean up this blowout that is literally in Colin's ears.
it's so funny because I said to Jason, like, I don't think we've ever talked or said the word poop
Oh.
more in our lives
Mhm.
than this season of life. And that's just not sexy. And me talking about like, oh, I'm bleeding again. I'm
Yeah.
on week 4 and guess what? Bleeding still. Like
Yeah.
not attractive, not sexy, but we'll get back to it.
Of course.
So you
Of
see, that's
course.
what marriage is, right? Like you see each other at your highest, your lowest, your best, your worst. And those are the vows you made in front of a lot of people is like, you know,
We say it without really knowing what we're getting
that's
into.
true. That is true.
They kind of trick us with those vows. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it'll ebbs and flows, right? And you just got to
totally.
ride out those lows. But there's fun to be had. I mean, Andrew and I, again, like there's just so many cute things that are happening. And like even when it's really, really hard, like, I Collins is not sleeping great. So he's letting me sleep in and
Mm,
taking over in the mornings. Like, I'm grateful for a partner who sees the need and steps in.
yeah, amen. We're lucky.
Yeah, and let me just give a shout out to all the single moms again, because literal angels on this earth, couldn't do it, would die. 10
Yeah,
out of 10.
totally. Totally. Glad
We're
you
at
said
30
that.
minutes. We're at
Yeah.
30 minutes. Do you want to,
Wrap up.
what? Well, yeah, is it a good way to wrap up?
I'll just be
We
like, that
just,
was a good check-in.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Well, I feel like that was a good, heartfelt, honest
Hmm.
check-in episode. You guys, if you've listened this whole episode, thank you so much. If you are in the thick of it, we see you. We're there with you. If you are out of the thick of it and in the fun of it, we are so
Applaud you.
excited to get to that part. And like, yeah, we applaud you. We're so proud of you.
You made it
Um,
through the tough stuff.
yes,
And we're,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, like we say, motherhood is a sisterhood. And we appreciate you giving us, your ear, your time. Please tell your mama friends about the podcast. Go back and listen to old episodes if you're new here. And we'll see you guys next week for another 30 minutes.
Doodles.